Right, so in the previous part we have covered the property binding, perfect, which is the where we are binding a property from parent to the child by passing it to the child input. Now the next case will be to cover event handling. So when an information happens in the child and we want to get the information from the child to the parent and handle that event. Perfect. So let's move on to that part. So here, let's give more space. We already have something pre-prepared for us in the app component. So we have the app component class. We have the template that has a section with some text, okay, saying that there is a secret message for you, hover to reveal. And then we're coming back and interpolating the message property, which is empty. So we are not seeing that that message property here, obviously, because it is empty. So whether we hover or not, nothing happened. And then we have a method on mouse over, meaning when we hover over the text, and nothing is in the body of the method, meaning it's doing nothing. So the goal of the exercise will be to do something actually if we hover over the message to display something instead of just an empty string. Perfect. So here they are giving us the syntax for event handling for the use case where we have a template with a button. Okay, so as you have seen for property binding, for the property binding exercise, we have seen before with the content editable attribute, we were using square brackets because we were passing the information from top to bottom, from the parent to the child. Here we want to react to a click that happens in the button itself, because the click will happen in the button. So the button will have the information that the click happened. So it will pass to us the information from bottom up. So that's why we use parentheses instead of square brackets. Okay, so on the click, then we add an equal, and then between double quotes, we put the name of the method. We call actually the method that will handle the event, as the name suggests here in the title of the exercise. Perfect. So we see that in the TS, in the class file here, I mean, we are in the TS anyway because the template is inline, but I should say in the class, in the TypeScript class, we have a method called greet that is implemented, and that will console log hello there, meaning every time a click on the button will happen, the information will pass and the method will handle the event, the method that we call here. So every time a click happens on the button, in the console of the browser we would see hello there. So this is the syntax. So in the exercise they are telling us to implement the method. So here we will paste this. So this dot message, so this is just the syntax because the message is a property of the class. So for people who are not comfortable with TypeScript or object-oriented programming, we have to use this to show that we are using the property of this object that is instantiated from this class. Okay, that's where the this comes from. We are assigning to it a new value because its initial value was an empty string. We are assigning it to it a new value, way to go. Perfect. So now we're still not seeing anything when we hover over the message because we are not yet handling the event, right? So for that, as for the click that we have seen here, we need to handle the mouse over, okay, on a section. So the section element here supports the mouse over. Perfect event. So when we add this, so on mouse over on the whole section, this method will be called and it will assign to this dot message a new value, which will be way to go. And since the value is interpolated here, we will always get the up-to-date value. So for now, we are not hovering yet. So you see that we are not seeing anything yet because the message is being displayed, but with the value empty. Let's hover now, and we see that we can see way to go. Perfect. And if I get out of the component, right, we are not hiding the way to go because there is nothing that reassigns an empty string. Okay. Perfect. So for that, maybe we could look for maybe we could look at the event that we could get. Okay. Mouse over event, and there is mouse out, so most likely it will be the native HTML convention. So if we come back here, we could add another method. It would be more interesting. On mouse out, so that the secret message is only displayed when we hover, and the moment we get out, we get it empty. So let's copy this. Let's add another event handling mouse out. Let's call our method on mouse out. Okay, and on mouse out we'll put back the message as empty. Okay. There is an issue somewhere about sorry, issue of syntax here. I should have closed this bracket, this double quotes here. It should be better now. Okay, so now when we hover, we see way to go, and when we go out, it comes back to empty. Okay, so you see that we were able to display both of them. And what is also interesting is that you can see that dynamically, and this we didn't see that in the previous exercises. When we had an interpolated property, we had to manually change it to be able to show you and save. But here you can see that at runtime, the property, every time it is it's getting a new value that's assigned to it, the interpolated value will always show the latest one. Okay, you see, assigning way to go, assigning empty string, way to go, empty string. All right, so yeah, that's it for the event handling part. And on the next part, we will see communicating with input and communicating with output, which is directly related to what we have seen here. The only difference here is that we only worked on the parent, both for the property binding when we use that div with content editable. I was mentioning it even in the video. I was using the word input sometimes, or attribute, but this is an input actually that's implemented there. And for the event handling, in the section there is an output that is part of that child, which gets emitted. That's the word we use, which gets emitted, and and we react to it. We handle the event in the parent. So the goal of these two parts is actually to play inside the child. So we'll have a child and we'll create an input in our custom child and an output in our custom child. So it will be far more interesting and will give you more insights on what is happening in these two use cases that we have seen here.